Right, so here we are. It's episode 18 of the Tennessee Titans UK Fans Podcast. Once again, I'm joined by David and James. Guys, thanks again for joining me.
Oh yeah,
So, as you all witnessed yesterday, the game finished the Titans 31, the Browns 29. So the Titans now have their second victory of the season. We're now 2-11. So I'll kick this off. I was quite impressed during that game. Didn't think much of the Browns. I thought, the Titans went to a 14-3 lead, and I thought, well, this is good here. Iman got his touchdown. Pollard, was it 60, 65 yards, I think his run was for his touchdown. Haven't seen that all season from Pollard. The fact he ran straight through, didn't stop, got the touchdown, actually got me off my sofa. I jumped up. I was like, yes, yes, screaming it at the TV. Then the half came and it's 14-17 down at the half. And I kind of thought, here we go. This is it now. We've had our moment of excitement. The Titans are going to go on and lose the game. But no, they didn't. They came back. Pollard, I put the kids to bed. Walked downstairs, Pollard got the ball, ran, touchdown. I was like, wow, that's amazing. Couldn't have timed that any better, really. So got us back in the lead. Then DK got his touchdown. Whoever signed DK, whoever scouted him and said, this is the guy, he needs a medal, an award, something, a statue building for signing that guy, because he is one hell of a player. But then the Browns came back towards the end. I did think when it was 31-29 and they were going for the 2 points, they were going to get it. But Sanders was taken off the pitch for that for some reason. I don't know why, because he played all right during the game and he wasn't there for that final play, which was bizarre. But it doesn't matter. In the snow, in our white jerseys, the Titans proved we're not a pushover and we got the win, which very excited about. So, guys, what are your thoughts on that victory last night?
it was a really exciting game, wasn't it? I mean, you were watching it all the way through and not thinking, "Oh God, we've lost," which has been for the majority of the season. Um, One thing that got me really anxious was that at one point they looked like getting 42 points, David.
No, 45 is my prediction.
Oh,
45.
45, sorry.
To be fair, the way it was going, I was like, both teams might surpass what I said, and it could be like a record score for both teams. But no, it was good to see two poor teams just going for it, and actually making it entertaining. Like I've said all year, losing's fine as long as we lose the right way.
Yeah.
Obviously, we didn't lose yesterday, but yeah, we won playing the right way, which was good.
Yeah, so I mean, they generated three turnovers, which is more than they've done in the last four games or something, isn't it? Or five games, um, which was really good. And the defense played reasonably well. I mean, they were they were very competitive all the way through. They didn't, drop their heads at all. Offensively, we got a few problems, but we made some really good plays. And the block punt was especially heartwarming because we haven't done one, what, 2010 or something last time they did one. So it was really good. A really enjoyable game.
It was a bit. Do you know what? I was said to myself, I'm not going to be negative because at the end of the day it was a win, but I've got mixed emotions to that game. Just because the game was such a high of going through the emotions. We got the interception, we got the fumble, we got the block punt. I was like, everything was just going well for us, and it just felt really well. There's also the fumble and the snap for the 2 point conversion. There's everything just seemed to be going well for us, and but the end was just so anticlimactic. I actually when the game finished, I was kind of a bit like, okay, that's that then. I thought I'd be a lot more pumped about it. Where I was throughout the whole game, I was really excited watching it. I was getting like worked up. I was cheering. I was punching. Yeah, I was standing up, giving the old Big Jeff celebrations. But the ending was just so anticlimactic, and I don't know. Don't do it. It's not going to shy away from the result. The result was amazing. It's now put us third
That's
pick
why
in
you
the
were.
draft.
That's why you were sad, wasn't it?
No, no. Do you know what? It's not. It's not that actually. Because when I last night when I went to bed, I said to my wife, I was like, look, it's a perfect result for us. Jets won, so that's them, and then we're still the number one pick. And then it was only until this morning that I worked out that we were third pick now. So it's not really that. I'm kind of come around to the belief of I just want us to pick well, and I feel like a win is great for the rookies. I don't really care about the other people on the team because half of them won't be here. But for the young players on the team, they need they need a win, and it was nice to actually have. And I'm calling this the first win of the season.
Hmm.
The other one was gifted to us. That was we didn't deserve that win. We didn't earn that win. This one we won and we earned. So I'm happy. Pollard, welcome to the NFL. It's 2025. Nice of you to turn up finally. So it was good in that sense. And yeah, it was good. It was I think the worst thing about it was that you're gonna have that Sanders versus Ward um comparison throughout the whole game. And at one point it looked very pro Ward and I was really happy with that. And then we just fell apart in the last part of the game. And that's where my negatives come into play. Um I'll rabbit on about it, but coaching, first half, awful, just awful. We scored in the first drive, perfect, great. That's first time this season. But offensively, we just looked awful. Play calling, defensively, we looked awful, and came out the second half, and we went straight into zonal marking. We were man marking beforehand, and we were getting torched. Went to zonal. They had nothing offensively. They did absolutely nothing. And then we built up a lead, and then we went man marking. Let's go protect the lead. Went man marking, then we just got torched all over the pitch, all over the field again. And it just that was my negative. I think that's we had something going where we were just we were stopping them, and the team were playing so well. And regardless, a few penalties went against us, and we made some silly penalties ourselves, but it just felt like we came out the second half really wanting it, and then fourth quarter we just kind of just let ourselves down, and just it literally looked like we just given up what we'd just done the whole like three quarters.
I think part of the
Oh
problem, I
yeah,
mean, I think Sanders had 23 completions. I think 17 of those, as I looked at the tape again this afternoon, there wasn't a Titan within 5 yards of the man he caught it. So they were just, and whereas I think Ward only had about seven or something where they were open, and most of them were when he was dumping it to the side. There's something wrong there that our receivers don't get open, but probably because we're just lacking in, experienced receivers at the present time. But also that our defense is giving them too much latitude because they had what 5 plays over 50 yards, and I think they had a 32-yard one as well.
Yeah, it just felt. Oh, don't get me wrong. Like when you're going to compare the two, you've got Ward going up against probably what I think someone mentioned the second rated defense in the NFL. And we can break down the stats of what other QBs did against that defense. And then you've got one QB who's going up against apparently the 27th ranked defense, which I think is very generous. And considering our second, and that's probably just because of Jeffrey Simmons, Cedric Gray. I'd say them two are the only reason why we're not ranked 32. But our cornerbacks and safeties, apart from Hooker, who's having a bad season, the rest are literally like cornerback threes, fours, fives. Like they're not you're not going to start a season with them. And we are making progress in the rookies that are coming on. And I'm not going to be too hard on the rookies, but our secondary is awful at the moment. You've either got players that are rookies or you've got players that are depth pieces. They're not a starting caliber cornerback. We definitely don't have a stud cornerback, a franchise cornerback, and even a sense of safeties as well. We don't have it. So you've got, they're going to be a lot more open. Plus, the Browns have a wide receiver one, whereas we don't. There's a lot more in favour. And also someone mentioned, I know there's a lot of chat last night, especially on our group, about picking the wrong QB, and there was a lot of stuff. Obviously, American pages were mental about the result and comparing the two statistics. But no, and people saying about, oh, we played the Titans defense and we've compared a lot of the other QBs we've come against, but none of those other QBs were against a deficit against the Titans. So in the fourth quarter, they were just running it and just wasting time. They didn't need to throw it, whereas the Browns needed to throw, which means they were potentially there was a lot more in favour. They were making plays up to pass the ball, but yeah, it was good. Do you know what? It was good. I mean, I'll try not to get the two,
Pick
but
up
it was
that.
nice to have that win, and there were highlights with it. I mean, Big Jeff,
Yeah,
what a man!
beast.
Hmm.
He's just having a what a season he's having.
I don't know what happened to him last night. It was like he woke up and just decided he was just going to stop everyone and everything that was going to come in his path, and he literally just. There was one point in the game, I can't really do it. You saw him go with his eyes like that, and you think, what's going on? What's going on inside his helmet? It was like his eyes were popping out of his head at one point. Yeah, he was possessed. I mean, DK, what a player. Pollard, great game. Either of them could have got like man of the match, but then Simmons just. I don't know what he was doing last night. That's the Simmons we want to see. So he's either playing for a transfer elsewhere at the end of the season, or he just I don't know. He was just absolutely in beast mode. I just words can't describe how well he played last night, and you could just see he just what he wanted it so badly, didn't he? So that was so good to see from Simmons, and you were just saying again about this Ward and Sanders comparison. Sanders is in a better team that needs less work doing to it. I mean, I've got stats in front of me here. I think Sanders threw for 364 yards and Cam Ward only threw for 117. But then we were doing the running game a bit more. So, it's hard to compare the two when they played slightly different kind of games. And, Sanders does have a better team. But at the end of the day, I don't really care. The Titans won, so that means we're better. So,
It's
so it
the
doesn't
main
matter.
stat, isn't it? The main stat
Yeah,
is who
exactly.
wins, who
You
lost.
can get all these yards, all these touchdowns, and all these extra little bits, but if you don't get the wins, it doesn't matter. I mean, I think both players are going to go off have a good career. I think Sanders only fell down the pecking order in the draft because of issues with his dad, and there was other issues with his attitude. You see all those stories, whether it's true or not. So, if he didn't have these off-field issues or things going on, he'd have been a high draft pick anyway. So people say, oh, you could have got him as a cheaper pick, which is correct. You could have done because there is some baggage that comes with him. He's not a bad player.
Hmm.
Could he have been the top? Could he have been the first pick for somebody if there weren't issues elsewhere? Because we know the NFL's weird like this. When certain players come with certain baggage, no matter how good that player is, some teams just don't want to touch them. They just don't want to hassle from it, which I find bizarre because sports about winning and you want the best players. So I think Sanders will go have a good career. I know this is Watson's going to go back to the Browns next season. Probably because they can't get rid of him, but I think Sanders will probably be the number one quarterback there. But like I say, Cam Ward came in, he did well. He's doing well this season in a poor team, but we can't judge Ward until we've got him some tools and some weapons to play with, which is going to be another season or two away, isn't it? So, but yeah, I think the comparison there just doesn't work, does it really?
Well, I think
There's
a lot of people are watching and they judge a quarterback and make a decision about his career after about 5 or 6 games. They say, "Oh, yeah, he's no good. He'll never make the grade." Well, most quarterbacks, let take 2 or 3 years. It's very few quarterbacks who come in and from game one they're absolutely brilliant. They take time to go on. The one thing about Simmons, the play that took my breath away was the one where he blocked two uh, linemen with
Yeah.
his arms and took them out of the game, and someone else was able to get round. I thought it was brilliant.
he's just a beast, and he was lining up all the way across that line.
Hmm.
He was lining up in edge. He was lining up in the inside tackle, nose tackle, everywhere. He was just everywhere across that defensive line. And if he can keep doing that, and we can give him that option just to say, right, you can just do what you want, line up where you want to line up, and then we just fill in those gaps. This is why I think Sweat's so important because he is just a unit that can just hold the middle of that defensive line and allow Big Jeff to go anywhere. And there's times I think he's lining up an edge, and he looks so good. And when you see that, you literally like, no, maybe we should just get a defensive tackle rather than drafting an edge threat because he's pretty good off the edge. There was one positive actually, I will say, other than Big Jeff, And this is kind of contrary to what we've said all season. That O line held Miles Garrett, the best edge threat in the NFL, to 4% pressure rate. Like, that's insane. And we all, I mean, I was literally like, he's going to break the record against us. There's no chance of us like holding him back.
That's
We've
all
been
you
like,
said all week.
yeah, we've been
You were
basically
saying it
like,
constantly.
it's just been a, it's just we've been it's just an open free for us for the every like defense man or edge threat has always had free run at Cam Ward all season, and they just seem to stop it. And Moore went off injured, and I'm like, oh man, here we go. We've got another kind of like a younger, inexperienced left tackle coming in, and Moore's like, no. I'm coming back, and you literally come back into the play, and you think, and this is, I was like, oh, this is the fight I've been wanting. And they, to be fair to them, and this is what's going to look really bad on Ward, is that they gave him a lot of protection. They gave him a lot of protection. There are times he held onto the ball too long. There was that one moment where Ward broke off to the right, I think it was, and he got chased down. They had the blitz, and I think it was their safety or something that was coming off, or linebacker was coming after Ward, and had literally had him wrapped around, and Ward just threw him to the ground and then threw the ball away. That was one of the greatest, like,
Oh yeah, when he
incomplete
was
passes ever.
yeah.
They just dump tackled him off the ball and then went, do you know what? I'm going to throw the ball away now. It would have been even better if he made the pass. People have been raving about that all season if he made the pass.
I think what they were
Just
doing with Garrett was they were letting him come up the field and then attacking with the run through the space that he left, which was, I thought they played that. You have to, the defensive coordinator, give him credit for that path that they took, which really negated him in the game. When he's been, you think he's on a record-setting pace, and no doubt he will get the record for the most sacks this in a year.
He only got one, didn't he?
Yeah,
Was
and
it
that
one?
one he actually two players blocked in, and he came right round the outside.
So yeah, maybe it was our plan just to use the run game because we ran the ball a lot yesterday. Maybe it was one of those days where we actually got the coaching right, and say, as you said, they attacked the space that Garrett left, and it just worked for us. Because I know one of their linebackers put up a career game with the amount of tackles, which is obviously he was covering the hole that
Yeah.
Garrett left. But just in this perspective of what the Browns' defense and defensive line have done this season. So they held Jordan Love to 183 yards, one touchdown, one interception. Jared Goff to 168 yards, two touchdowns, one interception. Lamar Jackson, 193 yards, no touchdowns, two interceptions. And Brock Purdy to 168 yards, one touchdown, no interceptions. So Cam, I went 117. It was lower, two touchdowns, one interception. But that's they've done the job on some good quarterbacks. And obviously Lamar Jackson, Goff, Jordan Love, they're a lot further on in their development than Cam Ward is. So there's it looks like a bad game, but when you put it into put those particular players in there, who especially like Green Bay or Love and Goff, who have unreal teams, they have an incredible team, good offensive line, good wide receivers. It actually doesn't look too bad when you put it into that perspective. That he did all right, really.
Yeah.
Just,
No.
just something from the game I want to talk about is that challenge that the Titans called with when they said the player's foot went out of play before the Browns scored their touchdown.
Oh
Did
yeah,
you guys think it was out of play? Because I was
it was
shouting
out.
at the TV. The first thing I shouted, even in real time, I was like, he's out, he's out. And then they didn't call it. I thought, well, they'll just appeal this, they'll do it. And they showed the replay. One angle you could see it, one you couldn't. And yet they let the play continue. They said he wasn't out. And I know it's difficult, but this is a multi-billion-dollar sport here. Well, not multi. He's more than multi-billion now. It's silly billions, and yet they couldn't get that right. And everyone at home could see that his foot was out, and then they went and scored the touchdown in the next play, which is even more frustrating. But yeah, were you both the same as me, screaming at your TV sets, going, "He was out"?
Well, I think the thing was that they ruled he was in, and they obviously didn't feel an angle showed that he was
The
definitely
TV
out.
evidence of his foot on the line was enough. Yeah.
Well, it was just because he was touching, sort of touching. They obviously gave him the benefit of the doubt. But yeah,
No,
it
they
was
they
so
were like, it's the
close.
Titans. It doesn't matter. They'll lose
And
anyway.
yeah,
So we'll just screw them over like we do every other week when there's a decision to be made. I always feel like, I don't know what it is. You always feel like it's against us for some reason. And if that was the Titans, they probably would have just said it was out anyway. But yeah,
Called
I
holding
was
and
quite
brought us right
frustrated.
back. They'd have called holding and brought us all the way back
Oh
to
yeah,
where it
exactly.
started.
Yeah.
uh,
But no, that was definitely the thing they said. I wasn't conclusive evidence, enough evidence to show it. And I was like, if you watch, there's a white turf comes up. So like where they've paid, because it's obviously the Browns play on proper turf,
yeah.
and so when he's run through, there's a white chunk of turf comes up where his boot scratches the ground. I'm like, that wouldn't come up if you've not touched the white line. So
Well,
you've
exactly.
touched it.
Hmm.
But then there's that decision, and there's the one with who was it? Was it Woods made that tackle
Oh
on
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Even the analyst was
I
saying,
can't remember
wasn't
his
it?
name.
Even he said because
Fair
he kind of
tackle.
caught him on the shoulder. It was like, well, no. If they'd got him on the neck area and the head, they were like, well, yeah, that was definitely going to be a foul. Yeah, and even the commentator, the analyst, he was saying he thought it was a harsh decision. I mean,
Yeah.
I think if the player didn't go down like he did and got straight back up, I think play would have continued. But I think because the player went down, I guess it was an easy one for the refs to say, "Oh, you must have roughed him." But yeah, I know, I thought as well because even I was like, "Yeah, what a tackle!" Yeah, and I was, oh, hang on, they pulled it back. And you think, we do something good for a change, and then it gets pulled back again every time on the Titans, and that was frustrating. It wasn't excessive play. I mean, even the commentator said it's a physical
Yeah.
game.
And it would
Yeah,
have
I
been
So
mean, you saw it again, and in no way he touched his helmet. He
no.
was on, his head was out of the way, and it was his shoulder that hit
well, yeah, he
shoulder.
didn't touch his helmet, didn't touch
Yeah,
his head, didn't touch his
yeah,
neck. It was the shoulder. So it was like, well, what more are you supposed to do? You don't want players to get injured. They can get badly injured in the NFL, which is absolutely fine. I get that, but it's a physical game, so it's going to happen. The guys are, those guys are big, prime, physical athletes. I couldn't imagine one of those guys running towards me. I wouldn't know what to do. I'd just cry. I think if I saw an NFL player running towards me, they go at some pace, hit each other. It happens all game, yeah. But that one just seemed like quite a fair challenge. It got wiped off really. So I felt
And it,
sorry for Woods on that one.
and it would have been a fumble as well afterwards because he lost the ball
Mm.
when he hit him. The ball popped out, so it would have
it would have
essentially been a
probably
fumble.
ruled an incomplete pass because I don't think he took it more than a couple of steps.
Oh, okay. Well, it's just one of those things. It's
Anyway,
like,
but he certainly would have been what, third down.
yeah, and so but that was the one that it was. They ran it. That's when we basically imploded ourselves because I think we then went back to back penalties on top of that. Face masks. They literally went all the way up the other end just through
Oh yeah, I kept
penalties.
seeing the face mask. There was one yesterday where it was the clearest face mask pull ever, and I just thought. It just, it wasn't going anywhere, and I just thought, why do they do it? You understand when like guys going to get a good clear advantage or something, and there was one yesterday. He was late in the game, and he just grabbed him, pulled him, and I just thought, what are you doing? Just Oh, it's so frustrating. I know it probably heats the moment. These things happen, don't they? But I don't know. I was watching it and I just thought, oh, it's happened a few times a face mask yesterday, and I thought, why do it? It's a silly penalty to give away, which is always going to be given unless it's against a Titans player, because then obviously, you're allowed to pull face masks to the Titans, as we've seen various occasions this season. It's been let to continue, but yeah, very
Yeah, I
frustrating.
don't
But
know.
like I
I
say,
don't know why someone must know if they got their hand up towards their face, they're likely to grab their face mask. You wonder why they do grab them there, and they
yeah,
know that
exactly. And
it's going to be
with
it's
all
going
the
to be seen by
cameras.
someone generally.
But
Yeah,
it
with
was.
all the cameras, all the replays, it's mad.
I think it was grey both times,
Hmm.
and I feel like it's. I think he's done it a few times this season, and I think it's more. He's obviously doing very well covering everybody and having that. He's got that tackle. He's one of the leading tacklers in the league. I think maybe it's just desperation to make the tackle that he wants to get obviously make all those tackles, and then you just. But at the same time, if you've moved and you're trying to grab, sometimes I feel like is when what makes it worse is if they've reached out to make the tackle and they're running towards you and their hand hits their face mask, your fingers automatically will probably lock in there. It's probably natural for your fingers to grab hold of something, whatever you've touching, rather than just let go. So, but yeah, it's a
Mm. I guess so. Yeah, I guess it's kind of yeah, probably not the biggest size right to do with, but yeah, possibly.
Hmm.
It's,
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe
Uh,
I'm making excuses because I think Gray's having an absolutely incredible season. But yeah, it was just that it was that tackle by Woods that got that stupid bogus penalty, and then it was just that was the
Hmm.
discipline just went, and it was just we just given up penalties, 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 and they just kept going further and down the pitch, and then you scoring touchdowns and stuff, and they're getting closer and closer to our score. So I think that's what was the anticlimax towards the end of the game was just that it kind of transpired from that penalty because they weren't doing anything from that penalty. They like the Browns had done nothing until that penalty. We then just imploded.
Hmm.
I've got to admit, I know you said it was like an anticlimax, and I felt that way a little bit as well. So I was a little bit tipsy last night. I'll admit I was a little bit drunk. I got a bit carried away, and I decided for the last 2 minutes I'll do a live TikTok. I'm sure you two didn't see that. That was probably a mess, in all honesty. And so I went live on TikTok for the last 2 minutes, and I thought the last 2 minutes it'd be a good bit of fun to do that, and a few people joined it. And I was getting so confused that last minute. I was like, have we won the game? We not won the game. It all felt like that last 60 seconds was very confusing. I don't know if you guys felt, I mean, may have felt that way because I was steaming. But I just thought the last minute, I was like, well, that's it now. We've got the ball. We're going to do this. And then we kept having all the timeouts at the end as well. But I don't know. It just felt the last 60 seconds was chaotic on the pitch with the comment. I was so confused. My hair was all over the place. My hands were up in the air. I was shouting at the camera. But yeah, I did feel like the end kind of just felt really weird, which is kind of you obviously felt the same, James.
Well, they
It
didn't
should
have
have been
enough
yes, we
time.
got this.
They didn't have enough time because of timeouts to actually just take the knee. So Pollard had to run around to try and use up some extra seconds. So
Right.
that it got to the fourth down where they had less than or 40 seconds and less to go.
I just also the passage of play. As soon as we got that into the 30s, I feel like the offensive play calling just went downhill. Like
Hmm.
we just kept running. I understand you run the clock and you just keep running. It's safe to run. Blah 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 blah. But it was we just kept doing the same thing, and it was literally just like, okay, so we're comfortable with our 30 plus points, and we're not going to try anything now. So we're just going to keep giving, and literally just kept giving the ball back to them. They kick we'll get the ball back either via a punt or a kickoff, and then it was just run, 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 punt,
Yeah,
run,
see,
run,
I agree
run,
on
punt.
that
I'm like,
because
do
I
something a
was
bit
watching
different.
at one
Try and get the
point
first down.
and I was like, we've just done 3 runs in a row. And I was like, okay, fine. And then like you say, we did it again. And you're just thinking, yeah, we may as well punch the ball back to them straight away. And it was so frustrating because, you know, we've got a rookie quarterback. We want him to, he's got to do all types of the game. So passing it to your running backs, obviously part of the game as well. But get him to sling the ball down the pitch a little bit. Have a punt, have a go at trying to get the ball to your wide receiver, your tight end, get it down there, and this constant going like, oh, we've got 2 yards. Oh, we've got 2 yards. Oh, we've got. Oh no, let's kick it back to them. Yeah, I found that was quite frustrating at times yesterday. Happened quite a bit, I thought. I mean, obviously, when it worked and we got touchdowns, it was good. But we were just doing it too much, and it was just like can we try something different? Can we try throw the ball? Yeah, that was probably one of the negatives from the game. But again, we'll have a new coach soon, hopefully. So hopefully we'll have something different, and we won't just run constantly when we have a new coach next season.
Yeah, definitely. It was just a bit. Yeah, I think that's all. It's all added to that anticlimax towards the end. It's just like just do something different. Just open the play up, do a screen pass or some
Flea
trick play
flicker,
or
just yeah, something,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
something different that just open that we could get that first down. It's just like they felt like they didn't want to get that first down, and it's
Hmm.
like they just go, "All right, well, we're just going to stop at the line of scrimmage." And I think they just tackled us for loss every single time. and it was just like they know what we're doing. Like, let's why do we keep doing it? It just felt
Yeah,
really
mix it up.
boneheaded. Yeah, just yeah. I think that's what added to that anticlimactic end. Really, it just all felt like a capitulation of just Titans football. Really, that last like 2 3 minutes.
Yeah, well, the thing is not to get too, you can't get too defensive because you let the other team back in the game. You've got to have a certain amount of dynamic play. You can't just sort of hand it off and, as you say, get a few yards, no yards punt. You've got to try and get 5 yards and a bit more and have a reasonable chance of getting a first down.
And
Yeah,
the other
make it
thing,
entertaining to watch as well.
yeah, I mean, the defense played so well that game that you just think you just they're just staying on the field, and it's like they don't get any rest. Like
Hmm.
it was just coming straight back, and you're like, right, the defense is back on the pitch again. And you're looking,
Yeah,
right, Simmons, go do
you've had
something.
45 seconds. Get back out
Yeah,
there.
it's like
As they're trying to get their breath, and suddenly they're back on the
yeah,
pitch again, aren't they?
and I think that's why we maybe got burnt around in like the corners and stuff because the secondary just wasn't there. They were just knackered, and the
No.
defensive line went to pieces in the last part, and it's like they probably were just shattered, and we just gone, ah. Yeah, have another go. Go and see what else you can do. And that's why probably why they were making so many penalties and why they just weren't covering players as good as they should have done.
You saw Gray after he did the run back with the for the two
Yeah,
points, and he sat down afterwards and got the oxygen mask
Oxygen
out.
yeah,
mask. Yeah, I saw that.
yeah.
He was he was knackered.
And then all we did from that was like 3 runs, punt, and mate, get back on the pitch again. It's like,
Back on
come
again.
on.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
should we move on and discuss the because we've got about 8 minutes to go now. Should we have a little chat about our game coming up this Sunday, which is a 25 past 9 kickoff, which I didn't realise until about 10 minutes before we started the podcast. It's a late kickoff this week coming up, so we get to so for one week we get to enjoy watching all the other games in Red Zone and enjoy some American football with no stress and pressure. But then at 25 past 9. You're going to be really frustrated and as we take on the 49ers, who are 9-4 at the moment. So obviously this is going to be different. So obviously playing against the Browns. So obviously they're going for Super Bowl glory this year, playoffs. How do you guys think we're going to fare up against them?
Well, it's going to be a tougher game, but at least it's going to be a bit warmer than
Yeah,
Sunday's game was. So it is going to be a tough game. I mean, they've got some good players. Purdy seems to be improving a bit now. He had a rough spell for a while. Um, it's going to be tough. It again depends on whether Canberra plays a little bit better and has a bit more chance, and how the running games plays. Um, I don't think it's going to be as high scoring a game as Sunday's was.
yeah, you got to kind of. They're not as good defensively as what we are playing. We've played some really tough defenses this year.
Hmm.
Very tough. Even if we play teams that aren't very good offensively, we have played teams that are very good defensively. Um, so I just want to see him play a bit more expansive football. I want to see. I, the season's done, and we're not. Let's just open Cam up, and let's not try and just keep doing these little check down passes. Let's open them up. And the thing is, I get it. It's if our receivers aren't getting open, there's no one for him to throw it to.
Hmm.
But we've got to start letting him do something. We had those games where he was using his feet a lot more. And this is the thing that Sanders did really well yesterday was that when the pocket collapsed, he just moved away and then ran with it.
well, he got that touchdown, didn't he? Ran straight through the middle, didn't he?
Yeah,
So he saw the gap and went for it. We need Ward to be seeing those gaps, and maybe he's being told by the coaches not to do it. You'd like to think they'd say to a quarterback, "Well, there's a gap there, go for it." But maybe he's going with their instructions. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see when we get a new coach in whether they encourage it a bit more, possibly if his game changes. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But like I said, it's definitely going to be a different kind of game, this one, isn't it?
Hmm.
yeah, definitely. Um, yeah, I can't see us winning. But again, if it's a good loss, I'm happy. Ward play well, have a little bit of a bounce back week, um, and I just imagine our run game will probably be non-existent again. But I'm going to go 24-10 to the 49ers.
What? Not for the Titans.
No. Mind you,
Go on then,
I did say
David.
I did say we were going to beat the Browns. We did win, so
Yeah. Yes, we got that one right. So we got two right
ticks
this
across the
season at
board.
least. No, I don't. I personally don't think we're going to win. And to be honest, I don't think we want to win, do we?
Of
To
course we
finish it.
do. Of course we
No,
do.
no,
Although if we lose,
well,
it's
not
not the
with the
end of the world,
Saints
is it?
coming up in a couple of weeks. That should be a win. And no, I think we might score 17 or 15, depending on whether we score two touchdowns. But probably 24-17
2-2.
to the 49ers, unfortunately.
See, this is really weird. So James has
Could it
said
be 50 this
24-10.
week?
No. So James has said 24-10. Okay. You've said 24-17. So I wrote down, as I started this point in the conversation, I wrote down 24-20, obviously to the Titans. But we've all said someone's going to score 24 points, which is really bizarre. How we all think one team's going to score 24. It's probably going to be 57-0 to the 49ers. But I've gone 24-20 Titans. So maybe that might be 24-20 to the 49ers, but I'm not too sure. So you guys don't think the 49ers are going to score many passes this week then? Think our
No.
defence is going to hold strong?
I think the defense. I mean, I mean, when the offense has played reasonably well, we haven't given up many, too many points. It's unfortunately when the offense has played very lousy, the defense just have been on the field too long. I mean, I'd like to see the Titans win. I won't be disappointed if they won, but I think against 9 and 14, well, they're probably going to find it a little bit too tough.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a bit. It's just, as you say, it's one you kind of don't want to win with the Saints coming up. But I mean, if we win, we win, great. And if we play well, then we play well. It's the way it is. I kind of come to the terms now that we're not going to get the number one seed, and we just need to go out and just boost morale as best as possible and let players play. The only thing that's changed, in my opinion, from the last before the Browns game to the Browns game now is we my draft opinion. So it doesn't really matter if we get number one pick or not because I want number one wide receiver. I feel like that's our biggest need now. Our defensive line's actually played really well the last few games, so the edge threat is it'd be nice to have, but I feel like when you watch like the Browns and they're pretty poor, but they've got a proper wide receiver. You're like, if we had something like that, it would just create so many opportunities for us. So that's what I'm changing in my mind with draft wise up to wide receiver now.
Well, yeah, we need so much, don't we? And like I say, I think yeah, it's just yeah, the draft's hard, isn't it? Because you don't know what we don't know what the new coach is going to be thinking, who's going to be the new coach as well, which is obviously going to be difficult. So we're down to the last 90 seconds, guys. Anything you want to quickly squeeze in before we sign off this week?
Mm, no, I think big shout
No.
out to Dan Moore. He's had a rough season, and I feel like he played really well. So I'll end on that note that the offensive line was good this week.
Well, once again, guys, thanks for joining me for the podcast. Again, for our millions of viewers worldwide, although Spotify doesn't say we have millions of viewers. Thanks again for joining us once more. Again, please follow us on TikTok, Facebook, X, Instagram. Although I don't ever use Instagram very much. I don't understand Instagram. I'm too old for that rubbish. So come along, join us, especially on the Facebook page, because the guys, we're all very vocal on a Sunday night. As long as you ignore James being negative sometimes, we'll be okay.
I was good this week.
You were good this week. And to be fair, it was a bit quiet the week before, and I kind of think, oh God, people are losing interest now. But this week it kind of picked up again. So hopefully, we can have a positive performance, which will encourage people to obviously come along and join us and have a bit more talking. The viewers, we've got a few more followers now, which is quite good since I've opened up the page as well. So, but guys, we'll leave it there. I'll get this uploaded, and I'm sure we'll speak throughout the week as we get more injury news and some information on the Titans.
Cheerio.
Bye now.
Cool. Cheers.